What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with
Gersh1.
And today we're back to answer more questions from you guys in another installment of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first.
That is what John Duffy has done. His question is, which Primarch artifact or weapon is the most powerful and still has an important role to play in the future of the Warhammer 40K universe? And which one would you choose to have? It's a very interesting weapon that I would choose because normally you'd say, oh, I want, swords or the hammer, or I want like some awesome like inferno pistol. Nah, give me Korax's whip.
His whip.
Mm-hmm. Skirt. No, I think Korax's whip would be pretty interesting because, it's got range. You're able to, like, maneuver and whatnot and disarm your opponent, and it, like, electrifies people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the whip would be a very unorthodox weapon, especially when you're talking about sci-fi, fantasy, when you're in a world full of heavily armored men and tanks and titans. Bring a whip to a mechanized fight.
I like that. And then it kind of makes me think of, what is the bad guy from Iron Man 2?
Oh,
Electro? No, not Electro. But that guy.
Whiplash.
Yeah, Whiplash.
Is
I think
that
it is. I think
is
so,
it?
yeah. So kind of like that, right?
Sure.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. That is true. Like, he was fighting, like, armored dudes with a whip
Yeah.
of electricity.
Or is it a thing for the Raven Guard right now?
I don't think they could use whips in battle.
No. But, so the artifact is still with Corvus Corax?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to look into the new rules for Horus Heresy, because surprise, surprise, we're getting an updated rules. I don't know if it's a revamp, because essentially the Horus Heresy, they use 7th edition rules. So it's kind of going, backwards in time. Because those 7th edition rules are the same rules I used to use in 40K.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really cool that they stayed there. They didn't completely evolve with like 8th edition rule set, 9th edition rule set.
So they're not being updated to 9th. They're completely different.
Yeah. So that stats and weapons and rules will get updated, but I think they'll still stay in 7th edition.
Yeah, which is good just because it's so close combat oriented, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, the artifact or the weapon that I would choose is Horus's Claw, which is Abaddon's Claw now. Yeah. It's going to be something that's going to play a big role in future events just because it's Abaddon. Mm-hmm. So, he's going to still try to do something to the Imperium. Yeah. And the claws themselves are just super powerful. Yeah,
the talent of Horus. It's a claw, and it's got, bolters on there, too. Mm-hmm. Think of the Gauntlet of Ultramar. Is that what it's called? Guilliman's fist? Yeah. Same thing. It's like a power fist instead of claws, but it's got bolters on it. Yeah. And which artifact or weapon is the most powerful?
Would you consider the Emperor's Sword?
See, I was going to say, does the Emperor's Sword count? And also, does Dracnian count?
Dracnian, oh yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Who has Dracnian? It's Abaddon.
Yeah. Because this weapon is so powerful that the Emperor could not kill it.
I think that by itself, I think Dracnian would be the most powerful.
Exactly, yeah. Because even the Emperor's Sword, as strong as that is, Guilliman, we've seen what he can do with its craziness. It couldn't phase Dracnian.
Yeah, I would give it to that.
Yeah, easy. Definitely that sword has sentience to it. It's essentially a demon. Rumor has it that it's like the first sin of man became this sword and stuff like that. So to see how that plays out and what the future holds for it, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah. Let us know what your favorite artifacts or weapons of the Primarchs are in the comments.
Yes. Next question comes from Simon Teeth. If the Necrons gain supremacy and push back the Tyranids full time, how would the 40K galaxy change? If the Tyranids were pushed back, I don't think it would change too dramatically just because they just seem to be like another threat that the Imperium is facing. They're not big in the sense of chaos, because chaos created a giant warp rift through the entire galaxy. Yeah. They're not the orcs that are just constantly fighting everywhere. The Tyranids seem to be localized in the path of the fleets. Now, if the Necrons were able to gain supremacy, that's a bigger thing than the Tyranids going away, I guess. Yeah. If the Necrons gained supremacy, to be honest, based on the history of the Necrons, the biggest problem would be maintaining that cohesion within the Necron dynasties, because the Necrons are notorious, even when they were the Necron tier, for splintering off and trying to kill each other. And I think the Silent King would have a lot of problems trying to keep them together.
Yeah, the whole thing about the Necron lore, at least in the olden times, they were all just robotic, non-sentient life forms, I guess.
Yeah.
Now they got personalities, they got motives, they got goals, so they're all trying to achieve this.
Yeah.
At least the lords do, not so much the Necron warriors, but yeah.
Yeah. So I think like Trace the Infinite, Enricir the Traveler, right? Like all of these named characters would then fight with the Silent King or try to like break away as soon as the dominance is established.
Yeah.
Which could happen just because they're technologically way more superior than the Imperium.
Right. Which to me, it baffles me how they're still not like one of the superpowers in the galaxy.
It's because they're waking up.
That's true.
They're groggy.
Yeah.
They haven't had their morning pre-workout that makes them shit their brains out.
Sometimes you need a good cleanse.
Yeah.
If that means half your bowels come out too.
Hemorrhoids. Next question.
This one's by Kasaba Hedgeduce. We know that a lot of technology is brought back into the 41st millennium through STCs that were originally made in the dark age of technology. For example, the Land Raider and the Land Speeder that the Space Marines use. My question is, how come these STCs create vehicles with big enough buttons and seats and all kinds of stuff that fits Space Marines in full power armor when they were originally created at a time when Space Marines weren't even a thing?
That's like, what is it called? Cosmetic stuff. Cosmetic stuff that can be altered. Because like you got to think of an STC as not just a blueprint. The STC is supposed to be like a database of information for you to teach you how to build things with the resources that you have. Part of those resources are the actual pilots.
Right.
So if you have a pilot who is a squat, if you have a pilot that is another type of abhuman, the STC should know how to accommodate itself for that, and it's kind of the same thing. So like it is being built for a specific warrior, which in this case is a space marine.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Right, because essentially that doesn't really change the actual Land Raider. That just means, oh, we need a bigger chassis.
Yeah.
Or we need a chassis that can support a, however many ton a Space Marine weighs.
Yeah, so the functionality is still the same. The best way, like I think I can think of it is I used to work for like an electronic shop, and like when customers come in, you kind of you need to know what the customer wants, and then you kind of guide them towards whatever product. And that's what the STC is doing. The Space Marine or the Space Marine chapter, the Adeptus Mechanicus is coming in and saying, like, this is the type of customer, a.k.a. warrior, that needs to be accommodated. Here are all your options, kind of thing. So, yeah. Or like when you're playing Mario Kart and you're choosing the type of kart for your character. Obviously, the one that you're going to choose for Mario is going to be different than the one you choose for
Bowser.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, they're just karts.
Cosmetics. Le Mac and Cheese says, can you two switch roles in the intro, or is it going to throw everybody off?
Probably throws everybody off. It's already, like, we've tried it before.
Yeah, sometimes I stop to see if Gersh would fill in the blanks.
You don't.
It throws us off, too.
Next question.
This one's by the big one. At my work, whenever I successfully complete a task, my boss likes to give me relatively hard slaps on my jiggly booty cheeks. Is this how you guys like to congratulate each other on a job well done?
Not in this type of dynamic because we're not into DS or anything like that, which means Dom sub.
Yeah.
But that's probably what you and your, he said manager?
Yeah.
Are practicing right now. So Congratulations, man.
Yeah. Try it the other way and see the response you get. Because right now I feel like obviously the manager would be the Dom in it and you'd be the sub. So obviously you're taking, your cheeks getting clapped like that. But if it's the other way around, let's see, what happens.
Yeah. No judgment.
No.
Let us know how it goes down.
Remember, protection, always.
Always. Unless your manager is... Never mind. Next question.
Next question, yeah.
This one comes from Juan Jose Mendivil. Which giant mech in 40K that Death Guard robot is close when it comes to the height and width? Which giant mech in 40K that Death Egg robot?
Oh, the Death Egg robot from Sonic 2.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen Sonic 2?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, me either. But I could assume it's the one that the Eggman has. So it's like Think of like it's basically a orc stompa when I think about it. So think about an orc stompa against any giant mech in 40k. How would it do? Okay.
Yeah, pretty okay. I think a lot of mechs in 40k, especially within the Imperium, have force fields that are hard to penetrate, unless you're Wazdaka, or if you're like some type of like cyclonic torpedo or something like that.
Because they could deflect torpedoes, but not a bike.
No, not a bike.
Yeah.
Well, not an orc on a bike that's on fire.
There you go.
Yeah. But those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll talk next time.
Yeah, this has been the Sound Alchemist,
Gersh1.
and we are out.